Let's get our guest speaker up here. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to rumble. Oh, that's right, the fight's over. Anyway, this young man played football for LA Rams in 1987, number 43, and he is something else. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, can we give a warm welcome to one of our favorites, our regional director, Mr. Greg Williamson.
Oh, man, thank you very much, Mr. Thomas. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. And, I'm just so grateful that I'm able to speak on this type of platform. A gentleman who has developed over 17 millionaires, been mentored by 3 billionaires. I mean, and this gentleman is a servant leader. So, Mr. Thomas, everything that you do for us, I'm just so grateful. I mean, your heart is just so big. And I'm telling you, my strive is to be like a Mr. Thomas because, people like that, we need more people like that in the world. And so just again, Mr. Thomas, thank you for everything that you do. So good morning, everybody, and good afternoon if you're on the East Coast. My name is Greg Williamson. I'm a regional director in this company, but who I am is I'm a courageous, humble servant leader. And I'm just so excited that I get to give you guys a word. And this is something that I'm actually going through myself, and it's going to actually propel me into the new year. And the name of my topic is to own the fourth quarter. And so there's when I played football with the LA Rams, excuse me, not just with the Rams, but when I played football at Fresno State, our coach used to say, "Hey, look, we own the fourth quarter." So at the end of the third quarter, because there's 4 quarters in a football game, and so at the end of the third quarter, he would have us raise our arms up in our hands and yell four and yell four. And what that meant was we own the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter is ours. Because what happens normally in a football game is that by the time you get to the third and fourth quarter, you start to get tired. You're not as sharp as you was in the first and second quarter. All the energy that you had, especially as when young kids, 19, 20, 21, the excitement is mainly at the beginning because they got all this excitement. But by the third quarter, the energy is kind of zapped. And so he used to tell us, hey, look, we're going to own the fourth quarter. And he'd have us raise our hand up and we yell four. And it just helped us dominate the fourth quarter. And it helped us become undefeated through that season because we knew our mission. And our mission was to dominate the fourth quarter. So, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I say that is because we're about to go into the fourth quarter of ACN. See, there's 4 different quarters in ACN, and now we're about to move into the fourth quarter. And the fourth quarter is so important because you want to have so much momentum going into the fourth quarter that you wanted to have it slingshot you into the first quarter and into the new year. So, folks, this is a time where most people, or a lot of people, the holidays coming around, and things are starting to happen in the world. People are going to start slowing down, but not this group on this call. See, this group on this call, we're going to rev it up because it's the fourth quarter and we own the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter is ours. I don't care if you got started. I have a new guy that's on this call right now, and this gentleman was actually on the call last Tuesday on Mr. Thomas's call, and he's on fire. I believe he's going to do some big things. And so you can come in the fourth quarter and take it over because what's going to happen is going to propel you all the way into the new year. So, folks, I'm going to give you 7 steps. And if you have a pen and paper, I want you to write this down. This is something that I'm going through myself. So I'm going to go ahead and just go over this with you so that way we can be on the same page and we can all be propel our business into the fourth quarter. Now, just know this is that the momentum in the the last quarter of the year it's all about focus, it's about strategy, and it's about execution. So let me break this down for you, ladies and gentlemen. The first thing that you need to understand is momentum isn't something that you wait for. You don't wait for momentum. It's something that you create. Remember, you are the CEO. Everybody on this call is the CEO of their own company. At any given time, you can start creating momentum. See, right now, I have some activity going on in my business, and I was blessed to be on the charts, and but that's not the goal. The goal is to create some momentum to propel that whole group that we're getting started and move everybody through the fourth quarter into the new year. So too many people think they can just ride the wave in the wave of excitement and hope that things will magically pick up. But ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you this, Miss Jackie Black, that's not how it works. The way it works is momentum is built intentionally, and it starts with clarity. So I'm going to give you 7 steps, and I want you to write these 7 steps down. And the first step, ladies and gentlemen, is to set a clear vision. See, without vision, the people will perish. There's no vision, it all dies. You can be excited and all that, but there's no vision attached, it's going to go out the window. You got to know exactly what you're aiming for. And I spoke about this on a call once before, is that your goal, what's your goal for the fourth quarter? Is it to get a new position? Is it to hit a revenue target? A specific number of team members that's going to join your business? Whatever it is, ladies and gentlemen, whatever it is, Kush, make it crystal clear. But there's a key that you don't just want to focus on the outcome, Catherine. You want to focus on the activity that will drive the outcome. For example, if your goal is to bring in 20 new people, how many presentations do you need to do? You can put that in the chat, but I'm gonna give you an answer. It's a lot of people because this is nothing but a numbers game. So you want to go through, if you want 20 people into your organization, you're going to have to go through a lot of people. You're going to have to go through the numbers to get 20 people to join your organization in the first in this first 30 days, in the first 30 days of this new quarter. And so and then also it's about the follow-up. The fortune is all in the follow-up. So let's break this down into steps. Now, number 2, write this down. It's leverage is all about spurts. Leverage the power in spurts. So one of the most effective ways to create momentum is working in spurts, folks. And so you want to bring in a group of people as fast as possible in a short period of time. So let's say, in 30 to 60 days, you want to have all out massive action. All out massive action. And when people join together, when you start to build a team, they naturally start to create their own energy and competition. So for example, when I first got started, we started like with 5 or 6 of us. And, one person became executive team leader and somebody saw that. One person got qualified and everybody saw that. So now everybody wanted to get qualified. Everybody wanted to hit the bonus because they saw one person do it first. So folks, if you start creating that culture, if you start creating that momentum, it's going to start working for you. It's going to naturally create energy and competition. People are going to they're going to want to do what somebody else did. They want to know, all they need to know, is it possible? And once they find out it's possible, then they motivate each other. And this is what I call indirect pressure. You see, you don't have to push anybody, to move forward. See, when you start getting the momentum with a group and a culture, they're going to start working for each other. So focus on sponsoring in spurts, folks, and creating that sense of community and shared purpose. Number 3, write this down, is that speed and mass equals momentum. Speed and mass equals momentum. Momentum is a formula, ladies and gentlemen, is the number of people times the speed of which you move. Isn't it crazy that a plane that goes up in the air, tons and tons and tons of weight with people on it and luggage and all that, but it gets up there in the air? Why? Because it moves with speed and mass. It's moving at a fast pace. See, if a plane was only moving 30 miles per hour and trying to get up in the air, it's not going to work. So that's the way you want to treat your business, folks. The faster you move, the more energy that you create, and the energy becomes contagious. See, as you start to move fast, others are going to run with you. See, I used to work, in the prison system, and and I remember, you come and you see somebody running, you start running too. And you don't know where you're running, but you just run because that's what you're supposed to do. There's something going on, and you just run because somebody else is running to it. So that's what you want to do. You start to run, everybody else is going to start to follow. Now, number 4, folks, write this down. Write this down, Rick, is that build with duplication in mind. I talked about this before. This business is nothing but duplication. You know, that's why Starbucks is so successful, because it has duplication. That's why McDonald's is so successful, because it has duplication. If your team can't replicate you, then you're not building momentum. You're just creating a one-time spike. You got a spike that happens, and then all of a sudden it falls down because people can't match what you do. Now you just use the tools that ACN provides. ACN has a proven system. It's been around for 32 years. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's already invented. So you want to make sure that you get people properly trained the right way. You know, this is facts right here. You know, somebody who flips burgers for White Castle, and then they want to go to, there's a restaurant out here in California that we call In-N-Out. And they know how to flip burgers at White Castle, but it's different at at In-N-Out. Matter of fact, you have to go to school. You have to go to In-N-Out University to know how to flip the burgers and know how to make the burgers how they make it. So ACN has that same system. Even though if you've done another network marketing, you need to understand the ACN system on how it runs, and so that way you can duplicate it out, ladies and gentlemen. And so remember, the goal isn't just to hit your target. Is to build foundation that will sustain the growth. Remember, you want to build something big. And if you want to build something big, it's got to be beyond you. So you got to actually grow it beyond you. Now, number 6, write this down. Miss Jackie Black, write this down, is that you want to stay consistent and you want to lead by example. Folks, you are, like I said before, you are the CEO of your company. People are watching you. If you say, hey, look, I'm the leader, then you are the leader. You are the person that people are going to follow. So they follow you. They're going to follow what you do. If you don't go to events, they're not going to go to events. If you don't go out and get customers, they're not going to get customers. If they don't see you working in the business, they're not going to do it. So, folks, you want to lead by example. Momentum starts with you. If you're consistent, your team won't be. If you're not consistent, your team won't be either. Show up every day with energy and focus, folks. You know, we have leaders that's on this call, and they show up, and when they show up with energy. And the reason being because they're being the leader who they should be. So, be the example. What's possible. And then when the team sees you moving, they will follow. It's just facts. And number 7 is focus on the foundation, not the results. Focus on the foundation, not the results. Ladies and gentlemen, you're building a foundation. You know, it's not just the results. You want to build a foundation. You want to build something that actually starts to move. Even though you're not there, it's still moving. You're getting alerts. People are joining your team because you built a strong foundation. You built something that was on solid ground and not on the water. And so this is critical. It's just, don't just chase the numbers for the sake of hitting a goal. Build it with principle that could be replicated and taught. You want to have something that you can teach it. The person on your team can teach it. That person can teach it. So on and so forth. Now you're building something massive. And excitement might get you to the finish line, but a strong foundation will keep you growing long after this fourth quarter is over. And number 5, Rick, is creating urgency and excitement. Creating urgency and excitement. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the bottom line. This is it. Is that, like I said, we're moving into the fourth quarter, and the fourth quarter starts now, because what we do in the fourth quarter is going to propel us going into the new year. And in the new year, what we got waiting on is we got fintech, we got home and auto insurance. Folks, you want to have momentum building into the first quarter. So when those services come on board, you have a team that's already up and running. They're already moving. You got momentum going, and everybody's going to jump on board, and you're going to have massive success going into 2026, and it's going to carry you on to 2027 and beyond. And so, ladies and gentlemen, like the fourth quarter is here. So don't just sprint to the finish line. Build momentum that's going to carry you into January and beyond. It's about massive action. It's about clarity, and it's about duplication. And let's finish this strong. Let's finish this fourth quarter strong in the tone of greatness. And before I end, I want to do this. And I don't know if you guys were on the call yesterday with Dr. Ron Hurd. That was the most fire call that I've been on. That call was just, I mean, that was straight fire. That's something that I'm going to listen to over and over and over because, I mean, he was spitting so many dimes. It was hard for me to pick them all up. So I'm gonna have to wait till the video come through because I'm going to pick up those dimes up that he was putting down. And so, and ladies and gentlemen, he said something that, man, that just touched me. And it's this. He said he sits in the mirror, he looks in the mirror, and he practices on his smile. He practices on his smile because that creates energy. See, he knows if he smiles, then that energy is going to go off into someone else. And I just thought that was just so powerful because what you do is going to actually go off into someone else. And so just know this, ladies and gentlemen, we're a team right here. You know, we're a team and we're moving in a force. And so, you know, if you got your camera on, if you don't have your camera on, if you have your camera on, I want you to put your arms up and say 4 because we own the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter is ours. If you don't have your camera on, just put a hand up. Just put the emoji hands up that the fourth quarter is ours. We own the fourth quarter. As people are laying it down, as people are going into the holidays, see, we're going to be rolling in this business and we're going to move. And then you'll start seeing more and more people on the charts because we're going to roll into the fourth quarter, into the first quarter, and all through the new years. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's do this. Let's do this in closing. Let's do this in closing. Is you know, something that we used to do. We start, you know, we would huddle up, and you know, I've learned a lot of life lessons in football. So, folks, this is what I want us to do: is that I want us to go into a huddle, and that huddle is all you got to do is just lean forward because I'm going to call a play, and in this play, it's going to actually carry us on. And so, this is the play right here, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. Mr. Thomas is ready. He's ready. He's leaning forward. He's ready for the huddle. So, listen up. Listen up. This is the play. This is what we need to do. We need to set a clear vision. We need to leverage the power through spurts. We need speed and mass because that equals momentum. And listen up, listen up. We want to build with duplication in mind. We want to create urgency and excitement. And we're going to stay consistent and lead by example because that's what's going to help us win. We're going to focus on the foundation and not the results. Hey, are you guys ready? Say break on 3. 1, 2, 3, break. Now, look, let's go ahead and play and do the play, and let's go ahead and finish this fourth quarter out, and let's go ahead and bring it into the first quarter. With that being said, Mr. Thomas, my time is done. I'm going to go ahead and send it back to you.